wants to be a costume superhero in this issue of Flash issue number 72. So this is part 3 of Flash year 1, and our story continues where we left off with last issue, which was Barry engaging with the Turtle, or Anime Bowser as I like to call him, and it doesn't go as well as anyone would think. Like a lot of rookie heroes, he tends to forget exactly what he just heard, which was, oh yeah, the Turtle can absorb your speed. Don't do the speed thing. Don't charge at him. It's not really going to work. So, as you recall, the Turtle absorbs speed. That's where, most of his power comes from. And it's only through dumb luck that Barry is able to defeat the Turtle by the Turtle throwing him into a wall, which he half vibrates through, which causes the wall to explode, and the bricks knock him out. So Barry's able to quickly, make sure no one else is hurt by the onslaught of brick debris, and he's able to get away, but then he realizes, oh crap, I was supposed to meet Iris. So he quickly runs back to Iris, like, hey Iris, hey, what happened? That old cliche superhero thing, like, oh, you just missed that superhero. Where were you? Oh, I was off doing a thing, doing non-superhero things, because I'm not a superhero. And Iris doesn't really put much thought into it, especially because Barry's able to play it off. Like, hey, so how about that coffee, And she's sort of right. I actually like Iris's design of this one. It's pretty, it's subtle, but also like secretly hardcore just because of the coat. Just love it. So this is pretty much Barry's life now. He goes on dates with Iris, he saves the day, he goes back to work as a forensic scientist, and he also experiments with his powers. There's a lot of new direction to Barry's life that he's just sort of able to enjoy now. It always seems that in Barry's mind, he's always been sort of a slow move. He's always usually late somewhere. He's always usually like a moment too late to probably take this opportunity to go anywhere else. He's dragged his feet in a lot of places, especially with Iris. But now that he's got these powers, because he's now able to physically move faster, it's also changed his perspective a bit, because he's been forced to put himself out there. And in terms of his superhero work, he's gone to putting a lightning symbol wherever he, does the good deed, wherever he, stops a bank robbery or whatnot. He, makes lightning graffiti, like, hey, lightning dude was here. And then he cleans it up later on because he's not a horrible person. And the legend of this character, the mythology of it, is growing more and more, but no one's able to get a good look at him. Even Iris, who's investigating, like, okay, so he wears a red costume, and that's what you're able to see, and then sometimes he brings people pizza, so I'm not gonna lie, bringing pizza as a superhero after Save the Day kind of makes Barry, like, the best superhero ever, because who doesn't want pizza? Like, ever. Love it. And Barry, meanwhile, is also trying to figure out how to, make it so he can get into his costume quicker. But that's all interrupted when he realized, oh crap, Iris is coming down here, and I'm a single guy, and my apartment is like that of a single guy, a mess. So, being the speedster he is, he's able to clean up, get dressed, get a rose, just in time for Iris to, knock at the door, so he's good. And then we get one of my favorite moments in this comic, which is Iris looking at Barry's stuff. She's sort of taking in exactly who he is, who, she may not have totally realized, new aspects to people. She's noticing his superhero action figures, which he made himself. She sees his comic book collection, and she talks about, her own interests. Like, she's not super into superheroes. She prefers horror movies. She likes the jump scares. And I love that little bit. I love that little bit of character to Iris. And then they talk a little bit about Clive Yorkin, who was someone that Iris is investigating because she believes that he killed someone during a bank heist. And, first Barry offers, like, I can help. She's like, no, this is date time. No work at date time. And there's like, okay, so where do you want to go? I know it's a nice little place. She's like, actually, no, we could order something. She's like, there's a pizza place that delivers about 30 minutes. And I was like, it's all right if the pizza showed up late. And Barry doesn't quite get that what Iris is saying here. And I love that Barry's so stupid. Like Barry, Iris is ready. But before that, as with all stories, there's a call. It's duty calling. For Iris, reporting that Clive Yorkin is with a new gang, so she's got to get on this. She's got to get on the trail. So, rain check and whatnot. Barry's like, yeah, I get it. And Iris reveals that, she's been more interested in this than she has been in the Flash. And it's because, well, yeah, he's doing a good thing, but he's not really doing anything else. And she's talking about, we don't need some mysterious superhero, we need hope. And that sort of lights another fire under Barry. Like, he has to do better in terms of, like, what he's doing. So he decides, like, dig up his backlog of cases, which apparently he's been falling behind on. And one of the things he finds out, that one of the cases from when the lightning hit him and never got around to solving was that the residue on the shoes is pretty much leads him to, well, Clive Yorkin and his new team led by Snart, aka Captain Cold. And it turns out I didn't know this. I did not know this about Snart's glasses. They help avoid alarms, and he can see if any police chatters onto him. I'm like, okay, that's cool. I thought it was just Snart being fancy. But anyway, as the story unfolds, we see Iris engaging Clive, trying to, figure out what's going on. And that leads to, well, a shootout to which Barry's able to save everyone. But as the comic ends, we find out that Barry's been shot. And that's how the comic ends. So, Flash issue 72. I didn't think 71 could have been topped. I love anime Bowser. I love older Barry calming younger Barry down. And I love the fact that older Barry's like, we travel through time to get heaven. Here, though, this nice little slice of life moment for superheroes. Like, hey, I'm trying to balance everything out. I'm trying to figure out who I am as a hero. We usually don't see that outside of Batman in most stories, especially in movies. And maybe Spider-Man to an extent. But here, there's this nice little period when he's not the Flash. He hasn't really taken that name yet. Everyone else sort of called him the Flash, but he hasn't embraced, he hasn't made his own. And here, we're seeing Barry done goofed up, and now he's shot, and we're trying to see what's going on. I really think the really standout character here was Iris. I'm looking forward to seeing how she plays off this and how she finds out about Barry. Will she find out in this story? I don't know yet. Well, with that in mind, let's bring this video to a close here. If you're new to the Debug Think Tank, feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe. Check out some other videos, and I will catch you all later. This is Debug Think Tank signing off. Thanks for watching, and as always, may your fandom serve you well.